YouTube? It's Mike with Duel Links Task Force bringing you Ancient Freaking Gears featuring Desperado. This deck build absolutely claps. I am in love with this deck. I loved Ancient Gears when it first came out, when Meta claimed it was a tier 0 deck. I went and bought it almost immediately. And ever since then, I've had amazing results with it, up until people stopped using as many back rows. But now with Karma Cut and Hey Trunod, all these things are back. I thought it was time to bring back Ancient Gears. So we made our last video about it, and it did decently well. But I brought a little bit more consistency that I think and I feel with this Ancient Gears build version. So without further ado, we will jump right into this build and get right to it. We of course run 3 Ancient Gear Reactor Dragons. If you are not familiar with this card, you have must been sleeping under a rock or just getting started. Either way, what it does is if this card was tribute summoned using a monster, it can inflict piercing damage to your opponent. It is a 3000 beat stick, and with your spell card, it then becomes 3,300, which we are using because we are, of course, using Dr. Crowler, which I love. Crowler. One of the two. Anyways, we run 3 of this nice beast, as you can see. 1, 2, 3. And then the twist that we added is we added a Desperado Barrel Dragon. Now, this works well with the Desperado build that everybody uses with Master of Destiny, but I thought it would work pretty good with this deck. I've done a lot of trial and error because I forgot that it has to be a dark machine monster that's destroyed to bring him out, so thought if something happened to a Reactor Dragon, then I would be fine, but lo and behold, I wasn't. So, in order for Desperado to work, we had to add some machines. So what better thing to add than Machina Fortress? So, of course, again, this is another build with the Desperado build with the Master Run. But this thing is pretty cool because you can discard a machine type monster whose total level equals 8 or more, then special summon this card from your hand or from the graveyard. Which means you can discard this card from your hand. As soon as it hits the graveyard, you can special summon it back on the field. And if this card is destroyed by battle and hit the graveyard, you can target one card your opponent controls and destroy that target. Ugh. Before resolving an opponent's monster effect that targets this face-up card, look at your opponent's hand and discard 1 card from their hand. Absolute unit to destroy anything on the field that they might have set for 1 back row that you didn't get to with your Cosmic Cyclone, or Double Cyclone. My bad, wrong deck. We run 2 of that just to try to ensure if we get Desperado, that if it's destroyed, it will use Desperado's effect, because like I said, it won't work with Ancient Gears because Ancient Gears is not a dark machine monster, it is an earth machine monster. So do not make the same mistake I did. And of course, BM4 Blast Spider, it's just great because if you have it face down, it gets flipped up and destroyed, Desperado activates, or you can use it to destroy a monster that's on the field, just a huge beat stick, and you have to buy yourself 1 turn. This card is the card you want to sacrifice, believe me. But we only run 1 because we don't want to cloud up the deck too much. And of course, just special for the blue eyes, we like to run Ally of Justice Quarantine. It also works amazing with the nice Noble Knight deck that I can't stand, by the way. But neither player can special summon light monsters, and since you run no light monsters in this deck, you are perfectly fine to run it. But everybody else is screwed. And of course, we got Gear Town. Place this on your field spell side. You pop it with Dispel Magic or Cyclone or Double Cyclone or whatever it is you want to pop it with. Or maybe you get lucky and they activate something to pop it for you so you get to save your turn. Either way, once it's sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Ancient Gears monster from your deck or graveyard. Which means if your Ancient Gears gets destroyed, you can bring it back from the graveyard. So, that is a key staple to this deck, so we run 3 of them. And of course, like I said, since the back row is so nastily riddled with karma cuts or hatred nods or any equip spell for nobles or any of that stuff, this card is the card that breaks it all. You can destroy one of their back row, pop your gear town, boom, you're in business to bring out your reactor dragon. Once it's summoned, as soon as the damage step is entered, they cannot activate card effects that target this. Shuts everything down. Crazy good sweep. So, like I said, I run 3 of those. 2 Dispel Magics, just because if I bring out Gear Town, they don't have a back row or anything like that. I can just use my own Dispel Magic to pop my own Gear Town and get the ball rolling. I added a little bit different with this build. I went with 2 Super Buddy, just for the fact that it is an Earth monster. So if they bring out an Earth monster or they bring out a Dark monster, I can use their monster on their field to special summon one from my own deck. Or not deck, you know what I mean. So if it's an Earth monster, let's say I have Machina forced out, I play Super Buddy, I can use Machina to bring out my Ancient Gear, so I don't have to have Gear Town. So like I said, I focus mainly on getting this deck as consistent as possible. And with this build, I feel that it is way better than the original. And of course, just to make people really, really, really mad, I love to run Magical Hats. If you're not familiar with this card, I suggest you get it. It is amazing for Ancient Gears. And what it does is, during your opponent's battle, choose 2 spell or trap cards from your deck and 1 monster you control. Special summon them as normal monsters in face down defense. Set the chosen monster if it is face up and shuffle them onto the field. So, 2 Gear Towns, 1 of your monsters, they're both flip face down. You rearrange it. The computer does it for you, of course. Your opponent swings in, it has to destroy one of the 2. So if it destroys a monster, both your Gear Towns get sent to the graveyard. You can then special summon 2 Reactor Dragons out on the field, make them feel like complete fools. Or they destroy a Gear Town and your monster and your Gear Town both go to the graveyard. Either way, you still have 2 Ancient Gear Reactor Dragons sitting there on your field for the price of nothing, or a monster you're going to get rid of anyways. So, absolutely nuts. I ran it before, but like I said, it still didn't add the consistency I wanted with Wyvern. But with this thing is amazing. You're going to want to run it, I'm telling you. And of course, we got some just BS extra deck, just kind of throw them off. And of course, the skill we run is Middle-Aged Mechs. Where did it go? There it is. Middle-Aged Mechs. Come on. Allows you to start with Ancient Gear Castle already on your field. What Ancient Gear Castle does, all Ancient Gear monsters gain 300 attack. Each time a normal monster is set or summoned, place 1 counter on this card. If you tribute summon an Ancient Gear monster, you can use this instead to bring out your Reactor Dragon. So, you normal summon, boom, you already get 1 counter put on it. Your opponent normal summons, boom, that's 2 counters. The next turn, you can then tribute this card to bring out your Ancient Gear Reactor Dragon. So again, adding another effect. And the really cool part about this card is, if you have Gear Town but no way to pop it, but you have 1 counter on this card, you can still tribute using Gear Town's effect, because it lets you summon for 1 less summon, or 1 less summon than what you would normally have. So Reactor Dragon normally be 2 summons. It only requires 1 summon with Gear Town on the field. So boom, you only have 1 counter on this card. You got Gear Town, no way to pop it, no worries. Reactor Dragon out on the field using Gear Town and this card. Then you turn around and attack. Reactor Dragon's effect is, once it attacks, you can then pop any spell or trap card on the field. So then you can either clear out another one of their back row if you've already got them whittled down, or you can use it to pop your Gear Town, which then means you get another Reactor Dragon out on the field. Absolutely insane. I've had very little problems against any decks. I hope you guys love this as much as I do. If you do, please give us a shout out, a like, a comment, a subscribe, anything. We absolutely love hearing from you guys. We love the interaction. So, enjoy the deck, run it, get ready for Kaiba Cup. We will see you later. Duel Links Task Force out.